Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to Premier League predictions. We're back for some more big Premier League games this weekend, so there's only a few more weeks to go. We're halfway through April and there is still so much to play for. What do you make of it?
It's just so tasty, up at the top and at the bottom.
Yeah, there's so much to play for. Guys, the scores from last week are there. It was a draw, which means you're still 10 points ahead, so we had to add on Thursday's results from last week as well because obviously the games came around so thick and fast, but we're caught up now. Sophie's 10 points clear. The final thing to do before we get into the predictions is go for 2,000 likes, which we just didn't do last time. What's going on?
Just didn't. You teased me there.
We didn't do it, so what have they got to do?
Do it. Like it.
Hit the like button. We're going for 2,000. We better do it this time. We came so close. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're subscribing as well. Once again, it's free to do that, so get involved. We're closing in on 62,000. And let's dive into the predictions, Sophie. Starting at St James's Park. Newcastle United versus Tottenham Hotspur. Both picked up a win last week.
Good wins as well, actually.
Yeah, Tottenham got past Forest 3-1.
Yeah.
And Newcastle won away at Fulham 1-0. I did back both of those teams to win. You actually backed them both to draw.
Oh, there you go. What do I know?
Well, a lot more than me, it seems, with the overall scores. I'm going to go for a draw in this one. Really difficult to separate. Spurs did smash Newcastle at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I know Newcastle have had a few injuries, but I just think at home they'll get something. They've both got a lot to fight for. Tottenham, you know, hanging on to the 4th place now. Newcastle trying to get into the top 6 or 7. I'll go 1-1.
Okay, I can see why you're going for that, but I think Spurs might actually just edge this. I know, I feel bad going against either team here, but for me, I can just see Spurs just getting it over the line. So I'm going to say 2-1.
Ooh.
Yeah, ever so slightly, yeah.
It's a massive game now because it's starting to get close between Tottenham and Villa, and Tottenham have just gone ahead of them now, so the power is in their hands. Share your thoughts, guys. On to the next one. We'll go to West London, where we find Brentford versus Sheffield United. Now, Brentford, Sophie, a 3-3 draw at Aston Villa.
Honestly, every time we were checking that score, we were like, oh my God, there's been another goal. What a game.
Yeah, incredible, really. And although it's not a win, it's still a point in the right direction. And
it's a good result.
Brentford are still not safe yet. As we keep saying, we think they will be. But Luton got a win, and it just keeps Brentford in this sort of position where they're not safe yet. Do you know what I mean? So losing this game would be a disaster. They're at home to Sheffield United, who, let's give them credit, it was a 2-2 draw against Chelsea.
Yeah, I thought they'd get a result. I said that they'd win, but still, a draw feels like a win sometimes.
You weren't far off. Sheffield United have got to win now. Games are running out. The draws are not good enough. They're fine. They're better than losing. But given the situation Sheffield United are in, they need to win games. They've got, 6 or 7 games left. They're 9 points adrift. It has to be a win. So I don't think either side can be happy with a draw here. I'm going to go for the home team. I'm going to go Brentford 3, Sheffield United 1.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I don't think a draw really favours either side, but I actually see one playing out again. I'm going to say 1-1.
Really?
Yeah.
It just kind of keeps things how it is.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really benefit either side. I know Sheffield United being away, probably they'd take it, but I don't really see much separating them right now.
There you go. It seems as if you've been sticking up for Sheffield United more than me recently, which is a change.
Well, yeah, we've changed sides there.
There you go. Share your thoughts. On to the next one. We have got Burnley versus Brighton. Burnley, Sophie, they were 4 games unbeaten. They went up against Everton and they lost. It's a really hard-hitting defeat, that one, because it was a 6-pointer. And even a draw would have been okay, especially now that they've lost it. You'd go back and take a draw, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But it means that they have to go for the win against Brighton. I just don't think draws are going to do it here for Burnley. As for Brighton, their form's been not the greatest. They lost 3-0 to Arsenal, which... What a prediction from you.
Yeah, well, I could see it happening. Brighton weren't in the best of form, and Arsenal, when they get going there, they can easily put a few goals past someone and keep the clean sheet. So
yeah, and it's put Arsenal top off the tree.
Yeah.
This is difficult, Soph. With Brighton, they've got to get back to winning ways. I don't think a draw is good enough for either. So I won't go for one. I'll just go towards the home team. Maybe Burnley are just going to try and keep things going a bit longer. If they lose this, I think it might be curtains. I'll go Burnley 2-1.
Okay, I'm getting off to a really boring start here, and I'm going to back another draw. Again, I don't think it suits either team, but you know when they both really need a win for like confidence and also for the table, they just seem to like cancel each other out, and I can see that happening again. So 1-1.
As like I said, the draw's not great for either, but you think it will be.
Yeah,
it can be like that though, can't it? When there's only a few games to go, everyone knows the stakes are high.
Yeah.
You sometimes think about, let's just make sure we don't lose. But
don't lose, and then you just end up getting a draw.
On to the next one, Sophie, as we go to the Etihad. It's Manchester City versus Luton Town. Now, I'm pretty sure the Luton Town fans would take a draw.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Let's give them credit, Sophie. We'll start with Luton.
Yeah.
They'd lost to Arsenal, they'd lost to Tottenham. They were always going to be tricky games, and so is this one against Man City. But between them, they had Bournemouth at home, which was the most winnable game.
Yeah.
And they did it in the last minute. And they did it coming from behind, which kind of felt like, there you go, Bournemouth, have some of that.
Yeah.
Have a taste of your own medicine.
Yeah, a bit of revenge for earlier on.
I'm happy for Luton.
Yeah.
It does put the pressure on Nottingham Forest, who we're going to come on to in a minute. But on this occasion, surely Luton know it's a free hit. It's the games after this that Luton have a chance.
Yeah.
For this one, Man City need to keep winning. They won 4-2 at Palace last week. I think they're going to win this one. They've got to keep winning to keep up with Arsenal and Liverpool. Man City, 2-0.
Okay, I'm going to say 3-0, which might seem a little bit harsh to Luton, but it is Man City. And when they need to get it done, they get it done. So any of those top three teams right now, they can't take their foot off the gas. And I can't see Man City stumbling against Luton, not at home. So fairly easy 3-0 win.
3-0 City. Yeah, not a lot between our predictions there. Share your thoughts, guys. I mean, what result that'd be if Luton got anything there.
Oh, yeah.
It'd open everything up, the relegation battle and the title race. On to the next one, Sophie. It's the team just above Luton, Nottingham Forest, and they're at home to Wolves. What's your thoughts on this one? It's winnable.
Must win for me.
For Forest?
Yeah, I feel like Forest must win this one because they've had a couple of tricky games. I thought that they could get something against Spurs, whether that be a draw. They didn't. So for me, it feels like a must win right now.
Yeah, well, in their last 3 games, they had the 2 home games against mid-table opposition, which they got 4 points from. Tottenham was a little bit of a free hit, but not a total free hit. Some teams can get something against Tottenham. You did back Forest to get a draw. They just fell short. I mean, it finished 3-1 in the end. As for Wolves, Sophie, they lost to West Ham. They
went ahead as well, didn't they? And then
but their season's really fizzling out now. As Wolves fans keep pointing out,
injuries. They've got a lot of injuries, to be fair.
It obviously doesn't help, but you've got to try and win some games, and Wolves have got to look at this as winnable as well.
Yeah.
But given the context, the table and everything, Forest have to win it more. Wolves have got to win to try and stay in the race for top 7, whereas Forest have to try and win to get away from the bottom 3, which is massive. I'm torn here between a Forest win and a draw, and I'm going to be a little bit mean to the Forest fans this week. I'm just going to say a draw.
Okay.
I still think they might just have it over Luton come end of the season. It'll be close either way. I'm going to go for a 1-1. I think Chris Wood probably scores, but Wolves, they're always in the game, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And I feel like it could be another case where Wolves go 1-0 up and then losing out. So I'm going to say Forest win 2-1.
Oh!
Yeah, if Wolves were full strength, I probably would lean towards them. But they've got quite a few injuries and to key players as well, so they're not playing their best at the moment. And Forest really, really need the win. So as long as they play like that, then I can see them doing it. 2-1.
What is happening here, Sophie? You're definitely the Forest fan now.
I'm not a Forest fan. They let me down last week as well because I'm back to draw. They'll make up for it this week.
Yeah. Forest fans, you do owe Sophie one. She's showing you some support. You've got to show her some support and get a win. On to the next one. Let's go to AFC Bournemouth versus Manchester United. Let's start with Bournemouth, Sophie. They've been on a good winning run, and then, as we said, Luton Town gave them a taste of their own medicine. Yeah. I'm not worried for Bournemouth.
No, not at all.
The mid-table.
Yeah, I'm not worried at all.
It's a bit frustrating for their fans to lose in the last minute, but it's hardly the end of the world. As for Manchester United, they always seem to raise their game for Liverpool.
Yeah, I said that before. I don't know why I didn't back a draw or lean more towards them, just because they can look really, really poor, but if they play Liverpool, they'll turn up.
Yeah, I say they always raise their game. They don't always. They have lost.
There has been a few
5-0 and 7-0. but they can, is what I'm trying to say. Manchester United could be having their worst season ever, but then they come up against Liverpool and they can maybe just get something. This is a difficult one. I really don't know, actually. I think I'm going to go for a draw.
Okay.
Man United probably favourites, but Bournemouth at home are a very good team. I'll go down the middle, 1-1.
Okay, I might just edge Man United, to be honest. I'm going to say 2-1, but I think Bournemouth are more than capable of winning it as well.
That's what
I'm just not going to back it. So, yeah, 2-1 United, I think.
Yeah, I think Bournemouth is the definition of a banana skin.
Yes, yeah.
For top teams. And I don't think it's impossible they win this game. On to the next one, Sophie. It's a big game in the title race. It's Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. Let's start with Liverpool, Sophie. As we said, they drew with Manchester United. What's your thoughts? Is it a point gained? Is it 2 dropped? Because they did take the lead, but then they had to come from behind.
So that's the thing. Because they went ahead, you feel like, oh, it's 2 dropped, really. But then, yeah, they pretty much shot themselves in the foot. The Fernandes goal, you're like, oh, what are you doing? And then the Mainu goal was just incredible. But you think you could have shut that down with your defending earlier on. So then to come back and get a point, you feel like, okay, it's a point on the board. But right now in the title race, that wasn't enough for me.
No.
They needed to win that.
It's difficult. You can look at it in many ways, and we won't know until the end of the season whether it was a good draw or not, because it has now put Arsenal top of the tree.
Yeah.
But I thought it was always going to be Liverpool's toughest game left. They've still got a couple of tricky ones. They've got Villa away. I think they've got Spurs at home. But Man United, as we say, they can raise their game for them.
Liverpool, yeah.
Let's have a look at Crystal Palace, Sophie. They've not been great since returning from the international break. And just like with Brentford, they're not doing enough to get themselves over the line. But they might just be okay. If they can pick off one more win, they'll be okay. I just don't think it's going to come here. Liverpool have got to win. But I think Palace will score, because Liverpool have been conceding in most games. So I'll go Liverpool 3, Palace 1.
I'm going to say 2-1 Liverpool. I don't see it being like a complete domination by Liverpool. They've not looked amazing in recent weeks. They are definitely letting teams play and get a goal against them, and you just think, really, you are better than the performances you're putting in. And to be honest, I was quite surprised that Palace got 2 against Man City, so credit to them for that. So I think they could be very much in this game, but Liverpool need to win this. They can't afford to drop points again, and I'll back them to win 2-1.
2-1. Share your thoughts, guys. Liverpool v Palace, both going for the Reds to get the 3 points, which they do need to. On to the next one, Sophie. It's a London derby as East London takes on West London. It's West Ham United versus Fulham. West Ham, Sophie, they will be travelling to Germany on the Thursday to play Bayer Leverkusen. And I wonder if that might take it out of them.
Possibly.
It might not. They might find themselves on a good run of momentum. They did get a good win against Wolves. And as for Fulham, they lost to Newcastle at the weekend. Tempted to go for a draw, but I'll go for West Ham.
Yeah.
I think the West Ham fans tell us off every so often for not backing them enough.
Yeah.
I can see them winning this one and trying to cement their place in the top 7. West Ham 2, Fulham 1.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go 2-0 West Ham. As you said, we don't really back them, or I don't really back them that much, and yeah, I've had egg on my face a couple of times, so I am going to back them this week. Wouldn't be surprised now if they were to either draw or lose, just because I've backed them, but I feel like if they get a result on Thursday, carrying on that momentum into this one, they can get the win easily. 2-0.
2-0. Share your thoughts, guys, on West Ham versus Fulham. On to the next one, Sophie. A big game in both the title race and the race for the top 4 as we go to the Emirates. It's Arsenal versus Aston Villa. Now, of course, Villa did beat Arsenal back at Villa Park in the first half of the season. It'd be even more impressive if they were to win now.
Yeah, that would blow the title race wide open again.
Yes, it certainly would. Villa have been dropping some points recently. They need their next win, but will it come at Arsenal, who are now top of the league? The power is in their hands.
It is, yeah.
I think Villa might score, but the last couple of results they've conceded a few. 3 against Brentford, 4 against City. I know they've been missing a couple of players, but Arsenal are scoring. I'll go Arsenal 3, Villa 1.
Yeah, I'm actually going for the same scoreline. I can see Arsenal getting a few goals. They're looking very, very good going forward, and they've got that goal difference for a reason. Villa, they have conceded a few. Again, a little bit similar to Wolves. They have got a few injuries, so if they were full strength, maybe they'd be in it a little bit more. But right now at this stage, Arsenal 3-1 for me.
3-1 Arsenal, yeah. Looking at Villa's next couple fixtures, they've got Bournemouth at home, they've got Chelsea at home. Those are the games they need to win. And I think the draw against Brentford could be really crushing come the end of the season. Share your thoughts, guys. What about Arsenal and the title? Is it theirs to lose? I mean,
I'm not answering these questions.
It changes every week.
If you look right now at the table, it is theirs to lose because they're top, but it is constantly changing.
Yeah, it's so close. It's Arsenal, then Liverpool, then City, and a point separating the three of them. It's so close.
But Arsenal's goal difference is so much better. So if it comes down to goal difference, then it's Arsenal's.
Yep, it's almost like an extra point, isn't it? On to the next one. Let's go to Stamford Bridge, the final game actually. It's Chelsea versus Everton. Let's start with Chelsea, Sophie. What a strange team. I mean, what a fantastic win against Manchester United.
Yeah.
Late goals, to snatch it 4-3. But then it is so typical of Chelsea to go to Sheffield United and concede in the last minute to throw points away. I mean, it was a 2-2 draw, which kind of sums their season up a bit.
Exactly, and that is why I went for a Sheffield United win, because I thought that is so typical Chelsea to get a great result against Man United and then to follow it up with a poor one. It wasn't a loss, so not completely accurate, but it was still just a draw against Sheffield United. So for Chelsea, the money they've spent, it's not great.
Yeah, and this is another banana skin, I suppose. Everton obviously fighting for their lives, but they got a massive win against Burnley, 1-0.
Crucial.
And you put that with the late draw they got at Newcastle, you start to think, has the tide shifted? Because Everton were on this long winless run, but 4 points in those two games, and you start to think Everton look pretty safe, but it's not over yet. But then in another turn of events for the Everton fans, they've had their second points deduction of the season, 2 points being taken off this week, which leaves them 2 points above the bottom three. They do need a few more points to get over the line here. I think Everton are capable of getting a draw here, and at the same time Chelsea throwing away 2 points. I think Chelsea might take the lead, but Everton come back. I'll go down the middle. I'll go Chelsea 1, Everton 1.
Okay. I'm going to back Chelsea to win this week purely because they flip-flop a little bit and they've had their bad result now, so they need to follow it up with a good result.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, so they're on the flip of the flop, and I think they're going to get the win. I'm going to say 2-1, so not masses in it, but
there you go.
2-1 for me.
So you're backing Chelsea to win because they're now on the flip of the flop.
Yes.
As for Everton, it's not a disaster if they lose, is it?
It's not really, because they got that win last weekend. Yeah.
It's
if they
taking the pressure off.
then it would be crucial to get something.
But I don't think it's impossible they'd get something here.
No.
So that's why I'm going for a draw, and you think it'd be close as well. Well, that does wrap up the Premier League predictions for the weekend, guys. 10 massive games coming, so get your predictions down in the comments. It's free to comment your predictions, so like I say, get them in and we'll have a look at yours. There's only a few weeks to go. There's plenty to come up. Next week we'll do the Premier League and FA Cup predictions in the same video. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like. We're going for 2,000, and we better do it this week.
Yeah.
We better do it. Hit that like button and make sure to subscribe as well. It's all a bit of fun. It's free to do. It helps us out. Like and subscribe. Thank you for joining me, Sophie.
Thank you.
We will see you guys in the next video. Take care and peace out.